Hey guys, it's Tark with UVTCA, and today we're going to get started with building your first FrSky, the Apus MQ60 drone that you're going to be building in class today. So let me go over the instructions with you. It's going to be pretty simple, and we should be able to do that and then get to doing your transmitter as well and getting it all programmed so that you can fly, okay? So first thing I want to point out to you is that this is an indoor drone flying a 1S battery, which means it's a very small battery. It'll give you some good flight time. It's got an excellent camera to work with it. You can fly it in your classroom without really the concern of hurting anybody or smacking into anything and breaking it. But we're going to go ahead and open the contents first, right? So here's the instruction manual right here. Let's go ahead and just lay that out. Okay, we're going to place that right here. And the next thing you know, this is going to be your flight controller and your ESC all rolled into one, okay? So we're going to go ahead and put that down. This actually also has the receiver for your radio built in, and we're going to get to the radio next, all right? Okay, so the next thing after that is we're going to go ahead and pull the frame out. This is pretty pliable plastic frame. This is going to be great, and it's very durable when it comes to, like if you hit anything, any wall or anything like that. And then we're going to go ahead and pull out the rest of it. So let me just empty the contents here and put everything else back in the box that we don't need. So we've got your motors right here. Okay, we've got the canopy here with the cameras. We've got the propellers. So we're going to put everything back. And then last but not least, we have the battery and the charger. Now you can go ahead and plug this in. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the smaller charger on the end here. You can go ahead and plug this in and charge it while we're building the quad. This way it'll be ready to go. So if you look at the pins are on the bottom, the holes are on the bottom. So you're going to want to put this with the label up. Just pop that right in there. And then slide it into any USB charging port that you have. So I'm just going to go ahead and charge this. Right now, it's going to light up red when it starts charging, and you'll be ready to go, okay? So just in a matter of a short time, it's not going to take very long, you'll be able to fly this, okay? By the time we're done building this, you'll definitely be able to fly it. So here we go. So let's go ahead and lay out what we're going to be doing to begin with. We're going to go ahead and take the contents out of the bag. Go ahead and do that for you real quick. And we'll put the bag aside. So now we've got the canopy. This is what we're going to call the canopy. Here's your 4 motors. Here are the rubber standoffs that you're going to need when you mount your flight controller. These are the screws that are going to be for mounting the flight controller and the camera. I would encourage you to also, let me go ahead and turn my hot glue gun on. I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and get some hot glue ready for the camera because these cameras are new, newer than the chassis here. So the way this camera is going to sit, I'm usually going to end up hot gluing this camera in place rather than trying to screw it in with all the plastic pieces because it does sit a little different. So just like I said, be prepared to put some hot glue on this one just to hold it in place, but we'll go over that in a little bit. First thing we want to do is we want to look at your flight controller right here, and we want to understand which direction it needs to be mounted, and we want to make sure that we've got it all plugged in the right way, okay? The first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that the letter that you see right here, there's going to be a letter A right here, and you're going to see these 4 plugs, right? You're going to want to turn this over, okay? And this is going to actually sit like this on these spots right here. But before we go ahead and screw that in, what I want to point out to you is that there is actually a front and back to this to point this out properly. And the way this works is it's wherever you're going to slide this battery in, all right? And it's going to be based on where you slide the battery in. So let me show you how this works. If you take your canopy, you don't put any electronics on it at all right? This drone is going to sit like this here. This canopy will sit like this. And if you turn it the other way, all right, and you can tell the difference because you've got a large opening here and a smaller opening here. Let me go ahead and close this for you. And if you turn it this way, and you line it up, you'll see again, it'll line up on these screw spots that are right here, right? So you've got these areas where you're going to be screwing this in, and these are all going to line up and go right in here, all right? For the sake of this build, we know what we're going to do is we're going to turn around. Let me show you a completed version. I'm going to go grab one that's completed real quick so you can get an idea of how this is supposed to look. Okay, so here's one that's completed. And I'll open this for you real quickly. And so what you can see, this is how the battery slides in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the larger part, and that's going to be the front. And I want you to pay attention to that, okay? So if you look at this here, the larger portion is going to be the larger opening right here. This is going to be the front. So the canopy is actually going to fix like this. Now, we need to put the flight controller on first, right? And it's going to be with the letter down like this. So the flight controller is going to sit, but we have to put these rubber stands on first. So what we're going to do is we're going to carefully, very carefully, you're going to take each rubber piece here, and you're going to feed it into the hole like this. You can get some pliers, or not pliers, tweezers may help you, all right, depending on how good you are at this. I'm not as good, so tweezers will usually help me, but right now I'm not doing a very good job. Hold on, see if I can knock this out. So whatever you do, be very careful. Try not to tear these rubber pieces. They will tear easily if you try to pull them, so do not pull them too tough. And let me see if I can get this in. This is not cooperating with me properly. Once you get it in there a little bit, you can almost press the top of it and kind of roll it through there. and you should get, hopefully I'm going to get one here in just a minute, but you basically want to get this through like this, and there we go. So we've got one in and we've got 3 more to go. This is never my favorite part at all. I usually end up tearing one, but I'm going to try to do this very carefully so in your video I don't mess it up. All right, so bear with me a second. Hopefully you're moving faster than I am. Okay, there's 2. And then we're going to do the 3rd one here. Okay, and then we're going to do the 4th one right here. There we go. Now that we've got all 4 of them in, let's go ahead and set them down. Okay, and we're going to set this down, remember, with the large opening in the front right here. We're going to set this down just like that. And you're just going to basically press it in place. All right, that's all you got to do. And it's going to go, those little inserts are going to go right into it. And it's going to hold it in place just like that. Okay. There you go. And if you notice that if it starts to like push that through, just kind of be careful so that you don't push the rubber grommets outside of your frame. Okay, and let me show you again with this drone. Where did I put it? Just had the other one here because I wanted to show. Oh, here it is. Okay, so the next thing you know is that, let me get this battery out so you can see what we're looking at here. Okay, so the next thing is this long wire, right? And you're going to want this wire to kind of feed underneath. So as you're putting this through, you can lift it back up here. Just make sure you get this wire, just kind of feed it back underneath right there. So feed the wire through that little opening. You can pull that through, and then go ahead and put this back down. Okay, and I believe that puts this in place. So there you go. So here's your completed look, right? And here's our progression here, okay? The next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and get these motors put in. And the way these motors are going to go is they're going to spin. A normal drone has its motors reversed, but because these are small, we want to keep the airflow as far away from this as possible. So we're going to reverse the motors and put them opposite we would on a normal drone, which you'll find out later in your chapters. So what we're going to do here is we're going to follow this model. We'll say, okay, looking at this upside down, we know the motors with the red and blue wires are going to go in the top left and the bottom right if you're looking at the drone at this angle. So let's go ahead and just put this in here. Okay, just like that. Feed it through and then press this down just like this. Okay, there you go. Now once you get that pretty well in there, and you can see you can go all the way to the bottom, just don't want to go too much farther. You can make it level. You want to go ahead and lay this down. Let me see if I can get the rest of these for you set up. Where is my case? It's in here. Maybe it's in here. Okay. All right. So once you're at this point, what you're going to want to do is you're going to get the next motor. So we're going to go with the next red one right here. And do the same thing all the way down until it's flush. Okay, there we go. And the next one, we're going to take the white and the black wired motors, and we're going to put those in the other 2 slots that are remaining. Okay. Just like that. We'll put the last one right here. Get this lined up properly. There you go, just like that. Press that down, and you're good to go. Okay, so now we have all the wires in place, and if we want to match this demo that's already built right here, what we can do next is we're going to go in and see where they plug these wires in. So we're going to go ahead and plug the wires into the ports that are closest, okay? And you're going to want to match the pins. So the pins are at the top, so we're going to turn this with the white wire outward. We're going to plug that right in there. It's going to snap right in. And then we're going to take this red and blue one, and we're going to put the red wire, like it is here, to the outside. I'm going to pop that right in there, just like that. Okay? And then we're going to take the second one here, this black and white wire. And again, if you look at if we turn it, the black wire is going to go on the outside, just like this. Sorry, the white wire will go on the outside. My apologies, just like that. And then again, we're going to do the same thing. So the wires will always be the same, which one's going to the outside and which one's going to the inside, okay? So we're going to go ahead and plug that out. There you go. And there is your drone assembled with the motors, okay? Pretty simple stuff. Go ahead and put the wires down, kind of tuck them in, all right? And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do with those. Now, your drone should come, and I have one right here, but I don't know where the other ones, they must have fallen, but you're going to get these little clear white circles right here. What these are for, these are intended to go around the plastic part where the drone is, and you just roll them down, and what it does is it holds the wire out of place. I don't know if I dropped my other ones, so I'm just going to take them off of here, okay? I must have dropped them when I opened the package, so just go ahead and kind of press the wire down, put this little, it's like a little rubber band, put it over it, and just kind of roll it down. It's gonna go ahead and take that wire. You see how it holds them out of the way? So you're gonna do that for all 4 motors. So I'm just gonna borrow these from my other one. Give me 1 second. There we go. I'm gonna do the next motor here. Okay. And then we're gonna do the last motor right here. Where am I? Here it is. Okay, so we are perfectly set right now. So now what you can see, I mean, we're almost done actually. This is a pretty good introductory drone. So the next thing we want to do is we want to get ready for our camera, right? And I was talking to you about that earlier. So the way they designed this is a new camera. The way they designed this is the antenna will go through the hole at the top right here. So you're going to lay that antenna out like that, pull it out, and just make sure that you get it right in there like this. And then kind of feed the rest of the camera. There's something I want you to take note of. You can see right here on your camera, there's a push button. It's a little click button. And right here on the canopy is a push piece as well. That's kind of a slot that's been cut. You need to make sure that button lines up with that slot so that when you press it, it activates the button. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this lined up. I'll show you exactly what it should look like. There's the camera. The antenna goes through there. And then this lines up just like that. Now what will happen is the camera's going to actually sit back just a little bit. Don't worry about that. That's the way the new design was done by the manufacturer. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of line it up. It will still make sure to capture the images without getting all that plastic around it. Now here's where it gets tricky, and this is where I was telling you I would use some hot glue. They give you this piece of plastic here to put inside and screw it in, but it's kind of a far-fetched idea depending on how you are with setting these. So what I recommend you do is, while you're holding the camera in place, make sure that you've got this slot. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this, okay? So this is the slot I'm talking about right here, right? You've got your button and you've got the slot. And as long as it's lined up properly, I would go ahead and get my hot glue gun, and I would add hot glue to the bottom of the camera in here. All right, let me get a little bit more hot glue. I think I'm running low on mine. There you go. So we're going to add a little bit of hot glue into this area right here. Okay, we want to hold it right here. We want to make sure it's lined up, and it is. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of hot glue right here. All right, and then we're going to turn around and we're going to add a little bit of hot glue right in here as well, just on the sides towards the bottom. And this will hold it in place. And there you go. Now that can cool down real quick. You'll be all right if you let it cool down. It's not a problem. But we can continue building while it's cooling down. So let me go ahead and adjust that there. All right. So you can see now that your camera is set up. You have your button set to where you can press it. I believe the glue should be almost dry by now. So let me go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, I can hear it clicking and feel it clicking. Everything looks good here, and this camera is ready to go. Now, if you want to try to put this piece in, you can. I don't mess with it. I'm just going to put some glue and make sure that this holds properly. I may put a little bit more glue on one side. If you want to, you can. You can, on the side without the button, you can add a little bit more if you feel like you need some. All right. And then at that point, what you're going to do is you just get rid of these little glue strings, and you're going to go ahead and you're going to plug this right into this white piece, this white plug right here. All right. Let me see. The pins are down, so we're going to turn this upside down with the red to the left, and we're going to push that in right there. All right, and there it goes. So now what we've done is we've actually connected every component that we need to get this drone to work. Only thing we have to do now is put the propellers on. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of take this wire and get it out of the way, and be sure not to put it where the screws are going to go. Place your canopy on top like this. Let me make sure I've got it lined up. There you go. And you can start putting the screws in. Now I'm going to use some tweezers to pick mine up here and put those in there. All right. And then get yourself a very small screwdriver and make sure that you have this lined up properly. And you're going to screw this through the center of the rubber piece and into the plastic at the bottom. And there you go. So that is one. It doesn't take much force, so you don't have to kill it, okay? Just kind of take your time with it because this frame is delicate, so it will bend as you're trying to screw this in. So let me make sure I've got this lined up right. There we go. And just verify that you're putting it in the right spot here. So bear with me. Let me verify this one. Let me get mine lined up a little bit better. Then I'm going to get the back one done. The back one will help me center the whole canopy, so let me go ahead and put that in there. I need a smaller screwdriver for that one, so let's see if I can get something like this. There we go. So that's tightened down, and now let's go back and check to see what we've done here. I want to make sure all of these are done properly. There we go. So that's tightened down. Excellent. And then this side we will tighten down again. And there you go. You're done. There is no screw to add to the front, so you don't have to worry about that. And look at that. Already we've got our drone ready to go. Everything is assembled. So now all we have to do is put on our propellers. Now, remember, I said the propellers are going to go backwards, which means they're not going to go the same direction as a normal drone. What that means is that motor 1 and motor 4 are going to spin counterclockwise, whereas on a normal drone, they spin clockwise. Motor 2 and motor 3 are going to spin clockwise. Usually they spin counterclockwise. So we're going to put these motors in reverse. So here's how you can tell your props. If you're putting your propeller on and it looks like it's scooping that way, then it's going to be a counterclockwise propeller. And if your propeller has the blades aimed up this direction, then it's going to be clockwise. So just look at the two, just like that. And you can see the differences here. So we're going to go ahead and take the ones that are aimed to the right, and we're going to just prop those on motor 2 right here. And we're going to put this on motor 3 right here. And these are just going to pop on, guys. Don't kill it. Just put them on the slot right there. All right. There you go. Okay. You want to make sure they got free movement. You don't want to put them so hard that they're pressed up against the plastic. Let's do this one. There we go. And then we'll do this one here. All right. And there we go. So we have officially just finished. Now you can take the extra pieces because you will have some extras. You're going to have some screws left because we didn't use the screws to put down the camera. So let me go ahead and take this. And I'm going to go ahead and put these away, and I'll just put them in a bag or put them in the box that it came in. So let me help you with that. Okay. All right. So now as you see, these are identical. Everything here is ready to go and ready to fly. Now what we have to do next is we're going to have to pair this with our radio, and we're going to have to put this on our computer and get it set up. So I'm going to show you that one next. Okay, guys? So let me do this. Here you go. So that's going to take it for this video. That's going to do it for this video. And this is going to be basically on the assembly of the drone itself. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come back and we're going to connect it to a computer and set it up. And then we're going to get you ready to put in your X9 Lite radio, and we're going to have these controlling each other, and you'll be able to watch it on our screen, okay? All right, guys, best of luck. I'm very proud of y'all on doing this course, and I hope you're enjoying it, and we're going to have some fun flying soon. See you later.